It's 3 p.m. everyone. Venture Cafe is open. Welcome to the Virtual Venture Cafe and a very special welcome to our first-time community members. Thank you for being a part of our annual Defense Innovation Conference. Venture Cafe, we are a nonprofit organization and we rely on our corporate partners such as BAE Systems who are supporting us today to provide all of our content free and open to the public. And I would like to introduce Francesca Shires-Capuzzo, who is going to be our first presenter today. Dr. Francesca Shires-Capuzzo is Senior Director of Advanced Technology and Innovation and Tech Scouting Lead at BAE Systems Labs. She was co-founder and CEO at OnDTech LLC, Vice President of R&D and CTO at Metamagnetics, and tenured Professor of Electrical Engineering at University of Catania, Italy. Francesca holds a Master of Science degree from the University of Catania in Italy, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and a PhD from the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. She was postgraduate fellow at the European Space Agency in the Netherlands, and she holds 7 patents. And with this, it is my pleasure to hand it over to you, Francesca.
Thank you, Julia. That was a long introduction. So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 9th Venture Cafe event sponsored by BAE Systems. This is part of our series on defense innovation and startup speed that we launched in 2018. Again, my name is Francesca Shires-Capuzzo, and I'm Director of External Innovation and Tech Scouting at FastLab. And FastLab is the R&D arm of BAE Systems. So at FastLab, we have a strong commitment to collaborative innovation because it is through innovation that we are able to deliver cutting-edge technologies to the defense and aerospace market. And it is through close collaborations with exceptional partners that we can ensure national security and support economic growth in our ecosystem. So at BAE Systems, we believe in diversity and inclusion. We strive to foster a culture that embraces diverse backgrounds and different perspectives as part of our cultural principles. We know that the most creative ideas originate from teams that bring different viewpoints and include members who come from very different paths of life. So implementing diversity in the workforce is not just the right thing to do, it is also the smart thing to do. But speaking about teams and collaborations, one of the goals of my team, my tech scouting team at BAE Systems, is to identify new external commercial dual-use technologies that can rapidly transition into our complex system and at the same time support our internal R&D. Now, my tech scouting team helps small businesses creating technology roadmaps and identifying funding from government contracts and venture capital firms to further develop their products. The objective for this non-traditional player is, so there are 2 objectives: achieve the performance parameters required in military applications, and also to scale up to the needed production volume and manufacturing quality. Now, this is a very unique way, very different from the traditional DoD industry approach. The old approach is based on ownership of intellectual properties or acquisition of small businesses rather than collaboration. What differentiates the new BAE Systems Tech Scouting approach is the establishment of a mutual beneficial relationship to make small companies with critical technology successful suppliers for the defense market. And in fact, what the COVID-19 pandemic has shown us is that market differentiation is a clever strategy for any large and small business. The commercial market usually offers larger margin and revenues, but it fluctuates with the economy. On the other hand, the defense market can represent a more stable market because we need to maintain national security even during economic crisis. Now, in our approach to advanced technology development, we involve the whole innovation ecosystem: small companies, universities, spin-off from university or general spin-off venture capital investors, government innovation teams, and other large corporations. So what we have started in Boston and in the whole Northeast over the last 3 years together with the defense innovation ecosystem, is nothing short of a revolution in the defense and aerospace industry. BAE Systems is the first prime contractor to push for this change, for new business models and for new strategic partnerships, such as co-sponsoring commercial accelerators together with government innovation teams. Now, it is because of the amazing people in our ecosystem working all together that we're writing a new chapter in the history of innovation in Boston. We know that Boston has been the birthplace of many great revolutions, led by the brave Minutemen in the late 1700s, and today by our smart high-tech engineers. It is because of innovators such as Steve Lover and Laz Gordon at the Air Force. It is because of committed leaders like Matt Correa, Ron Corsetti, and General J. B. Line at the Army NATIC. It is because of coordinators and active networkers like Lee Sylvester at the Navy, Bernadette Johnson at MIT Lincoln Labs, John Beatty at the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Michael McGinley at DIU, Professor Fiona Murray at MIT Sloan, Dr. Julie Chen at UMass Lowell, Warren Katz at Techstars, and Christian Melton at Mass Challenge. These are all exceptional individuals and innovators making a difference every day in our defense high-tech ecosystem. And of course, let me also mention the teams at the Venture Cafe and CIC Cambridge. Their commitment to innovation, collaboration, and diversity is profound. They have created a unique place for our community to share ideas, initiatives, and technologies through mentorship and networking events. But let's talk about what type of change this new defense innovation community is bringing. We've been talking about the need for change for more than a decade. And now on May 30th, SpaceX sent 2 astronauts into space for the first time since the retirement of the space shuttle. Quoting the NASA administrator, Jim Brandenstein, he said, "We're doing this differently than we have ever done before. NASA is not purchasing or operating this vehicle. We have partnered with commercial industry to buy a service to deliver our astronauts to the space station." So the business model has changed. It is now a service rather than a purchase. And it is a partnership with commercial industry rather than a traditional government and defense prime contractor relationship. In fact, NASA wants to see diverse providers competing with each other in cost and innovation. So why is BAE Systems collaborating with commercial and dual use companies? Our goal is to tap into new ideas and disruptive technology from non-traditional players and leverage the agility and rapidity in which they achieve product development in commercial markets. So, but what do we bring? We bring technical expertise, resources, market context, and possible tech transfer opportunity while navigating the strict defense processes and regulations. So this is a new chapter in the defense and aerospace industry and in the Northeast as a new defense innovation hub. We are not doing this because it's easy. We're doing this because it's hard. It is unpopular to advocate for change after 50 years of technological dominance that the US defense industry has enjoyed. But times have changed. Everyone sees the need for innovation, but usually innovation teams are separate entities disconnected from operations and without P&L responsibilities, and often fail. But we are changing this paradigm. Well, so this was my long way of saying how thrilled I am to be part of this collaborative event today. And today we will focus on one of BAE Systems' business areas, C4ISR, which addresses key technology challenges in all domains: underwater, sea, land, air, and space. But let me introduce you to our first speakers, Eric Vogel. Eric is a technical director at C4ISR and provides technical expertise and guidance in advanced sensors, communications, data analytics, space payloads, and processing, mission autonomy, and undersea technologies. He began his career at BAE Systems in 1997 and held a broad range of roles with increasing responsibilities. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Penn State University and a master's degree in engineering management from Tufts University. Eric?
Hey, welcome everybody, and thank you for that introduction, Francesca. Can everybody hear me and see me? Is the video and audio working?
Yep, everything is perfect.
Great, thank you. Okay, so again, I'm excited to be here. I'm going to share some charts with you guys. Just give me a minute to pull those up. Okay, hopefully you can see the charts being shared. So again, my name's Eric Vogel. I'm the tech director for our C4ISR systems business. Really excited to talk to you here today virtually about our business and some of our key technical challenges. You know, we started planning this event back in February of this year. And of course, I never thought we would do it virtually. I've attended the sessions at the Venture Cafe. I was looking forward to that. But at this point, I'm very glad we were able to pull this off. Much thanks to the BAE Systems Tech Scouting team and to the team at the Cambridge Innovation Center for persisting and coming up with a way to do this virtually. And I'm hoping we're actually touching more people via this venue today.
And it looks like nobody can see your deck. Could you please share your screen?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No worries.
I haven't really started briefing yet, so it's okay. How about that?
Yep, it's not full screen. There it goes. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, it's all good. Okay, so as I said, quick intro brief today. The goal is to give you an overview of our business area and some of the overarching challenges we face, kind of as a setup for my colleagues who are gonna come up after me and talk in detail about some of our key product lines. So without further ado, I'll get into it here. Okay, so we certainly win the award at BAE Systems for having the longest title of any business area. A lot of words, a lot of syllables, a lot of letters, and I think that all correlates to the breadth of our business, as Francesca was pointing out earlier. And for me, you know, being here for a long time, this is the exciting part about our business. I wake up every morning, I look at my calendar. I'm participating in things that are going into space, things that are going under the ocean, software that's running in the cloud, all sort of built around solving some of our customers' key mission challenges, right? So it's a very exciting place to be. In here a long time, hoping to be here for a long time to come, and hoping to welcome many of you into this environment to collaborate with us to address some of these challenges. What you see in the middle of the chart is sort of the objective statement for our business area. I'm not going to read it to you, but I do want to parse some of the key words, right? So actionable intelligence is the first part of the phrase, and that's really intelligence that answers people's tough questions, right? And allows them to take action and make decisions. So it needs to be timely and relevant. The next part is our customers. Those are the warfighters and decision makers. And that's really across the spectrum. That could be everybody from our elected officials to a soldier in the field, to a pilot, to a first responder, or even a frontline healthcare worker. The questions they ask and the information they need is different, but the technology and the solutions we bring forward is often the same. Next down is innovative technical solutions, right? So the real key there is, this is C4ISR is a very broad market. And at BAE Systems, we're not trying to boil the ocean and solve every problem. We're really looking for areas where, we can make a real difference for our customers, combining innovative technical capability from ourselves or from partners, combined with our deep mission understanding to really change the game for how our customer prosecutes their mission. And then finally, seas to the skies to the stars. We've already sort of touched on this, talked about the facts that we touch, all domains in this business, which certainly keeps things interesting. So that's kind of a top level overview chart. On the next chart, I'm going to introduce a framework for the C4ISR process and map some of our key capabilities to it, so you understand a little bit about what we do in our business. Okay. Okay, so what you see in the middle of the chart is the C4ISR process, if you will. And I know when we say intelligence or intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, it conjures up images sometimes of spy novels or international intrigue. And what I'm hoping to convince you of today is that we're really all intelligence operatives, right? And we all follow a process that is like the one I'm showing here, right? So customers will often abbreviate this. They'll call it TCPED. Which again represents tasking, collection, processing, exploitation, and dissemination. The process kicks off with a hard question. So think of the 12 o'clock position on this wheel here, launching with a hard question from a decision maker that they need answered so that they can decide what to do next. From that phase, it goes into a tasking cycle where analysts decide, what's the best way to answer this person's question. What kind of resources are we going to use? What sensors are going to be employed, and where and how are we going to employ them? From there, you go into collection, where the sensors actually collect the raw data from anywhere in the spectrum. Collection produces data that goes into processing. Processing is where you normalize the data across different sensor types and you organize it. And then that creates information which flows into the exploitation phase, right? Because information isn't good enough. We need intelligence, we need answers. So exploitation is where you take that information, apply other knowledge, other context, and expertise to actually get back and answer the question that was originally asked. And then finally, dissemination, that's where you transmit that answer in a form that's consumable to the entity that asked the question, as well as possibly posting it so that others who have the same question can get the answer without having to go through this whole cycle again. And this cycle is dynamic, right? As things evolve and new answers are discovered, questions continually are generated. So the cycle persists. The middle piece of this, the kind of the C4 in C4ISR, is command, control, communications, and computers. And this is really the infrastructure or the glue that holds the whole system together, right? So you need computing, you need communications to execute this cycle. And so again, this may still seem a little esoteric, so I'll give you a quick example of how I use this in my life, right? So recent question from my commander-in-chief, in this case, my girlfriend, wanted to know where can we get the disinfectant wipes, right? Something many of us are probably dealing with today. Scarce resources, some of them very important. Where do we find them, right? So that was my mission. For tasking, I thought about a few ways, maybe talking to a neighbor, some social media, going on the web and looking at different store websites. So that was my tasking phase. Collection, I went off and did those things over the course of a couple days, kind of got the information. Processing, I won't say I went as far as to kind of write down everything that I found in my collection phase, but I certainly, kind of organized it in my head and had a matrix of the different stores and the different sources of the disinfectant wipes and where I could go to possibly get them. From that phase, I went into, exploitation. So I sort of sat back with that information and I said, okay, what's going to be the best store to go to? Combination of what's the closest store, other information I know from living in the area for a while, maybe, discount what I learned on social media a little bit because you can't always trust what you find there. I had a conversation with my teenage son who works in a grocery store, also discount his information because he's a teenage son and he thinks he knows more than he often does. So I put all that together and I came up with, the right place to get the disinfectant wipes. I communicated that back to my girlfriend and, the next day we went out in search of the wipes. Of course, they weren't at the first place that I went to. So then we had to start to execute this cycle rapidly to, sort of course correct and eventually get ourselves to where we could get what we needed, right? Certainly, the C4 piece in the middle, we were using the internet, we were using computers, phones, all sorts of different means of communicating throughout that whole process. That's a simple example. I know it's a little bit corny, but I think it helps illustrate, some of these things and hopefully talks about how we all do this in our everyday life. So now I'm going to talk about what we do at BAE Systems, kind of mapped to each phase of this process. So on the tasking side, you know, I think a great example is our mission planning and auto routing software capabilities that help aircraft optimize their flight plans and their missions. A great example of that is our Mobility Air Force's flight planning system that we do for the U.S. Air Force. That is their solution for generating fuel-efficient routes in a dynamic worldwide airspace for tanker and airlift type missions. I'm highlighting here a recent article in Air Force Magazine where they talk about how complex these missions can be. In this case, they're talking about an aeromedical evacuation of some newborn children to a couple of service members in Korea. They had to get back to the United States in the middle of a global pandemic for some intensive care, 41-hour mission, almost 7,000 miles, multiple stops. And you know, obviously we're very proud that our software can be used to optimize missions like that to, you know, to help our customers be successful. On the collection front, we make a variety of different sensors in the electro-optical, infrared, radio frequency, and acoustic domain. You'll hear about a couple of those from Rob Saraceno, one of my colleagues, who's going to talk here in a few minutes. In this case, I'm highlighting one of the newer additions to our company with our acquisition last year of a company called Riptide, located in Plymouth, Massachusetts. Riptide is a provider of unmanned underwater vehicles, which is a sort of a new domain for ourselves and our customers. And it's going to be a great opportunity to expand some of our sensing and collection capabilities into this undersea domain, which is of great interest to a lot of our customers. Kind of continuing around the wheel here, processing, right? So we have a lot of different capabilities across the business in different forms of mission processing. I think it's probably most highlighted by our space computer portfolio. Very proud of the fact that we have over 1,000 computers on orbit on 300 different satellites. And last year we celebrated our 10,000th year in space without a mission critical failure, right? So space is a very difficult environment for electronics due to a variety of issues. And we're very proud to have reached that milestone. These computers are used on everything from the Mars rover to the GPS satellites that we all make use of every day to a variety of other applications. Peter Simonson, another one of my colleagues, is going to speak more about our space systems business and some of the key challenges there, again, coming up later in the session. Moving on to exploitation and dissemination, right? So in this case, we're really focused on the exploitation of geospatial information and with a variety of data management and analytic capabilities. So this is software that runs in a variety of different environments, helps analysts make sense out of what they see on Earth, and then, you know, create reports and information for decision makers to kind of close the loop on this process that I just showed you. Good recent example, another article, this is on our BAE Systems website, describing how frontline workers and first responders are able to use some of our geospatial intelligence tools to map the COVID-19 outbreak and therefore be prepared regionally to deal with the outbreak in terms of you know, the medical response in a given area. You'll hear more from my colleague Dave McWeeny about this aspect of our business later on. And finally, again, very important, the C4 piece in the middle. We have a variety of different command and control and mission computing capabilities really across the spectrum that provide the backbone and connectivity across this cycle. Dr. Dave Cooper, another colleague of mine, is going to speak to you later about our communications capabilities and some of the key challenges in that area. So that's a lot of time on one chart. I think I'm gonna go, I got one more chart for you here. I'm gonna wrap up and really talk about some of the key challenges that span this whole business, right? So as we mentioned, the business is very broad and there's a lot of details, and you're going to hear about some of those from my colleagues that come up and speak next. But when I sit back and look overall at what we're doing across the business, there's really a few common themes that are really driving the C4ISR business and mission space at this point. The first one I'm going to talk about is accelerating the pace of ISR. So just like I wish I didn't have to spend 2 to 3 hours hunting for or trying to figure out where to get disinfectant wipes, which in the end I just ended up getting from a neighbor who had more than they needed, which is probably where I should have started, but that's a separate topic. You know, our customers want to move much more quickly through that cycle as well, right? Because they're trying to operate in an environment that is very dynamic, changing all the time. They need a C4ISR system that is going to keep pace with that. So we need solutions that make every step of that process happen faster, whether it's through automation, AI, machine learning, or just better improvements to the technology itself. That's something that's required. Beyond that, we need to you know, make the whole cycle happen faster. So better connectivity, seamless interfaces between all of the aspects of that life cycle. And then even further beyond that, if we think about a longer time scale, we need to quickly and affordably be able to insert new technology into any of the elements of that life cycle, you know, as technology progresses, right? Our customers want to leverage technology advancement and stay ahead of the curve, not always be playing catch up. So pace is very important to us and our customers. Another thing that's important is really coordinating our operations across all domains, right? So we've talked about this a little bit. Very important that things that happen in the air happen well, things that happen in space happen well. What's becoming increasingly important to all of us is that there's real-time connectivity between those domains such that they can work together to achieve a particular mission outcome. So again, another important thing. And then finally, resilience. So as the environment changes rapidly, we really need solutions that can be resilient to disruption as that life cycle that I showed you on the prior chart is executed. And so whether that's a cyber disruption or operating in a congested communication spectrum, or just simply adapting to change in the environment, we're focused on putting together solutions that anticipate change and embrace it quickly so that we can be flexible and adaptable. So again, you're going to hear a lot of details from the team today. I encourage you, if you have solutions that you think apply to those, to reach out and make contact with us. Beyond that, if you see something that just more broadly correlates with any of the things I've spoken about, and again, please reach out. We are, as Francesca said, eager and anxious to work with you and collaborate to see if there's an opportunity to help you apply your technology to solve some of these key mission challenges. So thank you for your time today. I think that's it for me. Look forward to the rest of this session. Thank you.